important for us to understand where this idea started. And so I'm more than honored to ask my First Lady to explain to us where this came from. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Dr. Jill Biden, First Lady of the United States of America, all the guests here, and the women of peace, good afternoon. Habari zenu? Mko salama? Asante, naona mumeng'ara kabisa. Thank you. I was just telling them they look very beautiful and very... Okay, so the story of Joyful Women dates back to the year 1997. That's about 25 years ago. I had an opportunity to go to the villages of Uasin Gishu County that time to help my husband, now our president. Then he was running to become member of parliament for Eldoret North. I was a young girl. We had just gotten married. I was about 27 years old. So I went as a good wife and a good mother to go meet the mothers and the youth and just to see what was happening and help him campaign to become the member of Eldoret North. That was in 1997, and he was running for the first time. And so as I went crisscrossing the villages asking for votes, I met women, I met young people. But I'll never forget this day when I met this particular group of women. They were seated not very far from the road, about 50 of them. And I stopped to go talk to them just to ask for votes. But something different caught my attention. As the women sat on the ground, just listening to a young girl talking to them, I noticed one woman that was seated right in front of me. She looked like she had not had breakfast. She looked emaciated. She didn't have shoes. And yet, what caught my attention was a broad smile that she had. And when I looked at them and I looked at her, I made a prayer to God. And I said, if my husband makes it to parliament, I would like to come back and do something with these women. Because what I saw was not very acceptable. Because I was wondering, if a mother can leave her house without shoes to come for that kind of a meeting, then what was the situation at home? What about her children? And many things went round my head. Anyway, by God's grace, my husband was elected for the first time as member of parliament for Eldoret North. And of course, we came to Nairobi where we lived with a young family. But the picture of that particular lady that sat there that morning never left my mind. And I kept wondering, what will I do? God has given me an opportunity now to become a wife of a member of parliament of that region. What would I do? And I kept wondering, and I kept asking, and I kept talking to people, because for me, I was looking for sustainability. I was looking for something that these women would do, that they would not ever even want to go borrowing things or doing that kind of thing. And 12 years down the line, I will never forget that day in my office. I used to run a travel agency. And what I call an angel walked into my office and talked to me about the concept of table banking. And immediately, I thought about the women of Eldoret North. Now, this concept of table banking that Stella has explained to us is actually a government concept that was crafted by the then Poverty Eradication Commission. And a team of economists were sent to Bangladesh and to India and to the parts of Asia to go see what they had done. And it was borrowed on the Grameen Bank. And when I was told about this concept that had already been written, immediately I knew that that was the solution for the women of Eldoret North. And so quickly I called for a meeting of all the women leaders, and I had a meeting under a tree, and I started talking to them about table banking. And that day, on the 31st of August of 2009, Joyful Women Organization was born. And we named this organization Joyful Women because of that one woman that did not have shoes, looked like had not had breakfast, yet had a broad smile. Just to say that sometimes in life, you may not have everything, but nobody can take the joy away from you. And we say that we want to spread this joy across the nation of Kenya and across the nations of the world. That joy that emanates from a woman, you know, that smile. And we said we want this joy just to to be seen in every woman. And I'm glad this morning, this afternoon, that I can see the women of peace very joyful. I can see the smile. And so we began in Eldoret North in 2009, and I crisscrossed the county teaching the women. I'm blessed to be trained as a teacher, so that was not a very difficult job for me. I used to leave Nairobi on Thursday, and I would have 2 meetings that Thursday, 2 meetings on Friday, 2 meetings on Saturday, and I came back to Nairobi also to take care of my family, because then I had a young family. And so we began with Eldoret North, and when my husband became deputy president in 2013, we had the opportunity to spread Joyful Women across the nation. And we crisscrossed Kenya, and I really thank God for the opportunity of giving me this platform. It enabled me to travel to the places in our country that I had never traveled to. And we actually went to 46 out of the 47 counties of our nation. And I was so glad just to see the diversity of our women. You go to Lamu, you see the women of Lamu. You go to Kisumu, you see the women of Kisumu. You go to Kisii, the women of Kisii, Nakuru. And we brought Joyful Women to these women and to their homes. And today, we are glad that Joyful Women are spread across the counties. And today, we have about 150,000 women who are members of Joyful Women Organization. We have about 11,000 groups, and we continue to spread the joy. And not to be ignorant of the fact that we've had our own challenges, especially during COVID-19. We really had challenges with the women meeting, because when they said that people could not meet, then our women could not meet. But we thank God that we've been able to overcome that, and today God has given us a platform to change the lives of women, because when they borrow this money on the table, they are able to do enterprises. You know, we know that many other times women do not have collateral to go to the commercial banks to borrow money, because the collaterals that the women would really have maybe would be title deeds and things like that. But in the African culture, we know that really women do not own land. But we thank God, because things are changing in the 21st century. And even as we empower these women, we know that they have stories to tell us, testimonies, women that could not even go to meetings. We have brought dignity back to the women. One woman told me that anytime they went for meetings in the villages, they used to be told to sit on the grass. But because of the Joyful Women and empowering them economically, when they walk into the meetings, they are called to sit on the high table. And so today we are saying that women are sitting on the table. So thank you so much for listening to me. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Your Excellency, for enabling the women of Kenya to participate in the economic development of our nation, for enabling the women of Kenya to have a voice, for enabling the women of Kenya to be able to be confident in who they are, in what they can achieve, and to be confident that they can also be participants around the table. I will kindly ask you to invite Dr. Jill Biden, the First Lady of the Republic of the United States of America, to make some remarks. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Dr. Jill Biden, I would like to invite you to make some remarks. Karibu sana.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. Well, I love